Maybe I'll be texting, hey, Judah, maybe I'll be texting, say, how's the track meet? Okay, if everyone will stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, is Pastor Washington? Okay.
Heavenly Father, tonight we thank you for allowing us to be here. We thank you for your guidance and your help. Tonight, we thank you for those that serve this community. We ask your blessings on them. We ask that you lead, guide, and direct this community into what she can be and help us to fulfill all that you see for it. That this community can be a light to others and they can see your work in and through this community. And we give you thanks and praise for it tonight. In your son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, roll call vote. Attorney John Russell is not here tonight. Alderman Kent Shoemaker. Alderwoman Adrian Saunders.
Here.
Alderman Jeff Bodkins, not here. Alderman Mark Greening.
Here.
Alderman Juven Moss.
Here.
Okay. Next on the agenda is review of minutes. Does anybody have any corrections or comments on the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes of the last meeting, March 7th.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the March 7th, 2024 meeting minutes. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Let's see, public comment. We have Farmers Elevator and Exchange.
We're gonna move you guys up. Appraisal.
So the last meeting, we made an offer for $75,000 for 5 acres, pending appraisal. We have the appraisal back. It appraised at $78,000 for 5.2 acres. So we want to amend our offer to $78,000 for the 5.2 acres.
Motion we accept your offer, $78,000 for 5.2 acres.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend the original offer from Farmers Elevator Exchange and to accept, their bid of $78,000 for 5.2 acres. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion
Now, we do
passes.
have to appoint anything for the attorney to do the ownership of
They'll have to, they'll be in contact with him, because he's already aware of everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Eaton Electric.
Here we go. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Good evening. So my name is Brad Gilmer. I've been in front of you guys a few times. I'm with Eaton Corporation. Here to, I guess, address a couple items of business in regards to the electric system within the city. The first is a revised proposal for the Data Street substation upgrades. So that actually, as a project we quoted last year, we weren't able to get it under order. And so we've refreshed pricing and we've seen some increases, but I'll get to that in a second. I just want to revisit the project scope. Real quick, so we are proposing this to upgrade the Data Street substation to improve your system reliability. Initially, we did a conceptual design review, and we've also developed a 30% design engineering package that we're going to modify with some updates that have been requested. As a next step, we're providing this firm estimate for a 4-phase project. Phase 1 is going to be a little bit of labor not tied to material lead times to connect the industrial drive substation to the Data Street substation so that they can feed each other. That's a redundancy capability that will add to your system. And then we'll also get the major equipment on board, so that'll be your transformers, your switchgear, and things like that. We're going to, basically phase 1 is all of the design engineering, the project management, and the major equipment with a little bit of construction that's not tied to the equipment. Phases 2, 3, and 4 will be coming later, and that will come after a 60% design package when we can get firm contracts and firm bids from contractors to actually do the construction. So the side 2 will come once we have a 60% design. We'll be able to get bids from contractors since that design is robust enough that we can hand a scope of work to them and say bid the scope of work, and then that will drive the project to completion. So phase 1, design, project management, material. Essentially phase 2 is going to be construction, site acceptance, and commissioning of the project. So right now, we are looking for acceptance and eventually a purchase order for $7.3 million to do that engineering, design, procurement, project management, and construction of phase 1 only. There are some additional adders for some integral circuit breaker racking and a SCADA system option. I do want to note that from last year, we did see a price increase of about $200,000. We've worked to only pass $103,000 along to the city, because if a supplier is going to charge us more for the same equipment, essentially that's what we're passing on to you guys as well. And as everybody knows, things are more expensive today. You're buying a lot of copper, a lot of steel, and those transformers, things get more expensive. So since we weren't able to order last year, essentially we're paying $100,000 more, and our transformer lead times are about 2 years, and we haven't started that timer yet. So every time we've talked about this, it's urgent that we get that timer started, because the longer we wait, the longer it takes to get those transformers to site and installed. We did this project 10 years ago, it wouldn't take 2 years, but COVID blew up the supply chains, record demands. So supply chains are actually healthier than they've been traditionally, but in the electrical manufacturing industry, we're still seeing record demands. So manufacturing capability just isn't what it was. So that's really the first item, is addressing that core project, getting that off the ground. That'll help complement some work we're already doing to the industrial drive substation. That's something we've already ordered to refurbish the failed transformer out there. Once we get those two connected, the town will be much safer, more redundant. If anything happens to Davis Street as of today, the town would have a pretty serious predicament on its hands as far as how to address the distribution of the electricity. So, any questions on that? I know there's the issue, I spoke with Joey Liney today. I think we're still working on getting that audit completed.
Is
to
that
be able to.
Done?
When's it gonna be done?
We won't commit to a timeline.
So that audit is holding up the ability to sell the bonds to a bank. What Joey's told me is that there is such a thing as we can do some short-term financing. I don't know the full ramifications of what that means for the city. But essentially, the longer we wait, the more at risk the city is for outages and expensive outages, and the longer it takes to start that clock for those long lead time items. So if we would have done that, in September, we'd be about 25% of the way through that lead time.
So they said what's a holdup?
We originally planned to discuss it in closed chambers.
We can't hear.
I said we originally planned to discuss it at the previous meeting that was postponed until now, and tonight, in closed chambers, but John Russell couldn't be here tonight, to assist with it.
So there's not much you can do until we get that taken care of, right?
So, what I would like to propose is, the city owes Eaton nothing after a vote. The minute that the city owes Eaton something is with the issue of a purchase order, that becomes that financial contract, says we're buying this from you. So if we get this approved, to me, that checks the procedural box of like, yes, we need to do it, but you could take, another couple weeks, another couple months, and still owe Eaton nothing. That would just be the procedural move on your behalf. The issue becomes the proposal is only valid until April 26th. And then we would have to go back with our suppliers, and if they say, hey, that same transformer is gonna cost you $50,000 more, that's just more the city's gonna have to pay, by the time the purchase order comes through. So we're already at $103,000 more, and like I said, there was $200,000 more. Cognizant of that budget, we weren't to only pass as much as we had to along. But the longer the project waits, the harder that gets to be.
There is the option of going with a different auditor.
After
We
we
gotta
already,
start everything all over again.
will we get our money back?
That's what I was going to suggest in closed chambers, because I don't feel confident, that we can get an audit from them.
Who hired him? Who hired him?
It was the firm that was here in 2022,
Yeah,
so I don't know who made that decision.
okay.
But I know there was a considerable amount spent during that time, and it was the same.
Yeah.
How much have we paid him so far?
How much have we paid him so far?
Just this last audit,
Past is past.
I believe 12,900. So not an astronomical amount, but, he had previously received a very large sum from us in 2022, I think is when that took place.
You don't know what the whole of it is now?
He's given a number of different reasons. He requested that I provide him with the balances, of certain funds from the start of the fiscal year, which if I did that, it would compromise the credibility of the audit, because they can't come from an internal source. I can't give him numbers, and it was inappropriate for him to even ask, in my opinion. He wanted me to just come up with the finance numbers and provide those numbers to him and feed numbers back to us, but I don't believe those numbers were accurately reflected or been able to say the deed is certified numbers.
You gotta do something.
I have numerous contacts on the accounting side, if you want me to put feelers out and try to get some bids and figure out.
I think we need to do something.
Basically, that $12,000 is gone, right?
I think that we could
Get it
get that
back.
returned.
Mike, did you have something?
What kind of timeline, if we had to start from scratch, are we looking at?
Any normal auditor should have been able to, I previously did it for a living, and if my company had come in, there would have been a team of 6 to 8 individuals, and they would have had numbers regardless of the situation or what the circumstance was, how bad it was, 6 weeks, and I would have guaranteed those results.
Do we have a firm in mind that has that type of team?
I actually have I have 6 contacts that are willing to come in and help us out.
Okay.
Yeah, get some bids, please.
You guys wanna put that to a vote just for official,
Okay.
just giving me approval to do that?
Yeah, probably would be.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout the
Well,
bid.
I still have my alderman seat, so I, will make a motion to give, the city clerk, the authority ability to go out for bids, for auditing services.
Second.
Okay, so a motion is second to give the city clerk authorization to go out for bidding services. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes for that. Now, you're needing a vote for
Yeah, so
tonight.
if the council's comfortable, essentially that procedural vote to say like, yes, we're going to move forward. I guess the question's gonna be, if we get to the 26th and we still don't have a purchase order, then we're subject to a price increase because we gotta go back out to all of our suppliers and verify pricing. Getting them to extend that another 30 days, and typically with transformers, they don't like to go beyond 30 days because the market variability and the volatility of the components that build transformers, a lot of copper, a lot of steel, can, ebb and flow, and so getting a 60-day window can be a lot to ask from the transformer manufacturer. And so we may be looking at just another 30 days, essentially to extend that, and what that price increase could be is, I'm not sure. So, like I said, if the council votes on it, that's the procedural step. You owe us nothing until the purchase order comes, and then essentially after that purchase order comes, there's a 20% down. So then 30 days from that invoice is when we would ask for that to be paid. That'd be somewhere around $1.5 million that you would have to pay, and that front loads a lot of that equipment heavy purchase, the switchgear and transformers.
I don't feel comfortable.
They're almost off,
Yeah.
you're gonna go over 30 days anyway.
Yeah,
You're gonna do 6 weeks, are gonna get an audit.
yeah, I don't feel comfortable without an audit. I know we need it, but I don't feel comfortable at this time.
Okay, so item number 2 is preventative maintenance on the industrial drive substation. So that's a little more tenable, but I did prepare a proposal, right one here. Yes, industrial drive transformer failed. The whole substation was pulled offline, and that switchgear sat idle, and actually was exposed to the elements, in January. And so essentially what we wanna do is, we would recommend every 5 years us going through that piece of equipment anyway, for cleaning, testing, looking for issues, making sure we're not allowing issues that can self-propagate to continue to propagate. So it's probably never been done in its life, so it needs it anyway. However, it did get exposed to the elements in January with some of the kind of rapid nature of getting that transformer offline and responding to the emergency. That's when that big cold freeze came down. And so what we wanna do is essentially make sure when that new transformer arrives, it's being refurbished, it's gonna have to push power through those circuit breakers, we wanna make sure that those circuit breakers are healthy. So if we get a, $500,000 transformer installed, and then we come across another issue, then it's all for naught. So, we've proposed the price of $41,054 for, cleaning, testing, inspection, and lubrication of the mechanical components in the outdoor substation. It's actually our equipment, built by Pedersen Power, which we later acquired. But it's got our circuit breakers in it, so if there's repairs, it's super easy for us to source those components. There's protective relays, and then we'll also do bus and control testing, and we expect to be on site 3 days. So it's gonna be a really thorough PM. If it had been serviced, we'd potentially be there 1 to 2 days, but we're getting an extra thorough review. So we wanna make sure that that substation is healthy. We've vetted out any potential issues. So when that transformer that you've already purchased and you've paid us to help integrate, when that's online, the substation's gotta go through as healthy as well. So that price again is $41,054. And that would be purchased through Fletcher Reinhardt, which is kind of standard business for you guys.
Motion to accept the business, refurbish, or.
We may have to double check that pricing, that might have been my price to Fletcher Reinhardt, so we'd have to get that proposal from them.
Okay.
But there's a little bit of a markup from the distributor.
Okay.
But essentially, it'll be about 44,000.
When would that take place?
So we'd have to work it into our schedule. I would say, conservatively, if we got a purchase order within the next couple of weeks, as early as May. So some of that work is coming up as well. So the ideal piece would be that we get it in as that transformer work is happening, so that the transformer isn't waiting for the switchgear. So getting that moving would be good. Cause I think that transformer's, we have a delivery date?
April the 23rd.
So, April the 23rd, the transformer should arrive. It could be on site early May, that could work out really well.
So can you get us the actual numbers then you said there's gonna be a markup and all that?
Yeah, we need to probably verify the Fletcher Reinhardt quote. You might have that.
Huh?
I will double check my emails, make sure if I got that from Scott Muskoff with Fletcher Reinhardt, and I will provide that to you all. Give me a minute, and I might be able to.
So just at the next meeting, is that what you're meaning, Carrie? Or,
No, I make a motion that we accept our maintenance agreement and pay no more, up to 45,000, if it goes over that, then.
do you predict it being more than that?
No, that should be reasonable, I
If
believe.
it goes over, then you would have to come back. Fair enough?
Yeah.
That's the motion.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept the bid for, maintenance for the transformer up to $45,000. Any further discussion on that situation? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
That's all you got, Ethan?
Say that
That's
again?
all you got?
Yes.
I got a couple of things. You can wait, if you want, you can read my report, of what we've been up to. Little money that can come our way is, where did I do with it? I sent out requests to 5 different companies, and TNR sent back for selling the old transformer. And TNR is the only one that replied, and they said, they would buy it for $18,250. That way we can pick this one off, put the new one in place, put the other one on the truck, and send it down the road.
Did we, utilize anything with MPOA, or the MCMA? It's almost like a professional social network for both of those, where you can submit it and they will put it out and say, hey, Monroe City has this up for bid, make your offers to.
No, I just used the, vendors that I've always used. I did not do that, and I did not know that. If you want me to, I can.
So, yeah, you
kick
can,
the
if you
can
wanna
down
get
the
with
road
them.
and do that.
I can do that.
Okay.
The next thing is, we had a, we had a arrestor fail on that transformer, and we're taking the arresters off of this one and put on the new one that we're getting. It's a replaceable part, but we had one of them that went bad, and, it costs, TNR also has one for $750. We do have one from Palmyra, because we was putting it back in its place, might all this happen. So we do have the one on the shelf, this one probably has to go back to Palmyra, $750.
Sherry, I have a point to make on
Okay.
the sale of that transformer that you guys were just talking about. There's a reason you may not want to wait, and that reason is when the new transformer comes in, we've already got a crane scheduled to pick that thing up. If at the same time, this trailer is parked there to put the old one on, you don't have to bring a crane back. This is a very large crane that it takes, so yeah, it's a very expensive crane to get it set up. It's gonna be there anyway to set the new one in place. If you accept that offer, we can make it work where one day that crane sets the old one on the trailer, it's gone, puts the new one in place, so you may not wanna wait on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Good point. The crane's not cheap.
What is the date on when, the 24th, April 24th, the date that it would be?
Yeah.
April the 23rd is the
Third.
date that they've scheduled, that
The
Bryson has
transformers
told me
go
that
on.
they plan to deliver the new transformer.
So do we wanna go ahead then?
Who was the company you were gonna sell it to?
18,000, is that a,
South Dakota.
18,000, is that a fair thing, Terry, I believe?
Excuse me? Yes.
Is 18,000 fair?
It is fair because I haven't had any replies from anybody else.
We're looking to get the one,
And who's 18,000 by selling it to who?
18,250.
DNR Electric,
that's who we're selling it to.
yes.
Motion that we sell the old transformer to DNR Electric at the price stated.
So we have a motion and a second to sell the used transformer to TNR Electric for $18,000. Any further discussion?
Is it 18,000 even, or you got change?
18,250.
Yeah.
What is it?
18,250.
So we have a motion and a second to sell the used transformer for $18,250 to TNR Electric.
Do you have a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna vote? Got no further discussion?
No.
She said she didn't get other bids.
So what you can do is accept the offer pending, that no other bid came in for a higher offer. And over the next 7 days, I can put it out there and say, open for bid for 7 days. Someone submits a higher offer. Then everything-
It's gonna have to be significantly higher if you have to rent a trailer and a crane again.
Well, most of
If
the
it
time,
happens within 7 days, and it happens before the 23rd.
that crane will be here regardless, and as long as they can come at that time, if they can come at that time, I can say it's on them, the cost of transporting it from, loading it to the trailer. So it's kind of way to do both.
What happens if we get somebody else and it's in the way when we're trying to, can we pick it up and set it off to the side?
We only have this crane for what, 2 days, Mark?
The goal is to
What
have
do
it
you
there and
mean
gone
if
in one day.
somebody else?
If somebody else
offer-
bids to buy it and they can't pick it up the same day as we're getting the new
Then we would
one.
have to disclose to them that that is on, here's the time frame we have, you know, available to you for us to load it.
Okay,
If you can't make it, then it's.
then don't
on-
bid,
Then it's on, you know, you
right.
to take care of it.
Okay, so the original was a motion and a second to sell to TNR Electric for $18,250.
Still second?
Are we good with that?
Yes.
I
Okay,
think we just sell it and be done with it.
okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Gary, do you have anything else at this time?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Rob, I guess we can go ahead, Robert's Garage and Towing.
Appreciate you showing up, but we don't have a city attorney tonight, so.
No, that's fine. Also, why I'm here, just so you guys know, the last 2 weeks we've been over there operational. Things are going very well and picking up, so, we're looking forward to continuing to grow the business. We've also joined the, Chamber of Commerce here in town. Also in May 4th, I told you the wrong day, but May 4th, to Saturday, I know that's the same time you guys are having your citywide garage sale. 11 o'clock, we're gonna do a ribbon cutting ceremony and an open house, and,
Nice.
I know the fire department's gonna be out there, but I've talked to Rich, chief will be out there with the truck, so we'd like to see if you guys would attend, we're gonna have some food and some, giveaways out there as well, so.
What, yeah,
May 4th, it's a Saturday, the whole reason they're doing that weekend is that Sunday, they're having a surprise party for some of the Redmond family.
it's at
So they'll
11?
be there. I'm sorry?
It's at 11?
Yes, and some of the family will be in town, so we'll just be able to do it all in one shot, cause I know a lot of them are coming from out of town to see that, so just kinda works for all that.
Okay.
So, we'll just plan on the next city council meeting and see where we're at from there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Okay, Holy Rosary Abandonment, is that you, Debbie?
Well, no, I actually was coming up front for UTMC. I was supposed to be on the agenda.
Oh, you're not.
And so I'm gonna do UTMC first, if you don't mind.
What?
She said she's supposed to be on the agenda for DTMC, she's not. I got,
Which one did you speak to?
I emailed you and you said I was on the agenda. So it won't take a second.
I don't know.
Alice, was she on the, before we changed the agenda, was she on the original agenda?
I only had the Holy
Do
Rosary.
you want the email?
I had, I mean, I seen Debbie Kendrick on the original agenda.
She was for Holy Rosary, I didn't
And I have Holy Rosary too.
We updated the agenda.
Yeah, I saw
So I
that.
think it's,
Is it okay?
yeah, I'm pretty sure she was not the original.
So let's do DTMC first. It's very painless. It doesn't cost any money.
Okay.
That's good.
On April the 11th at 3 p.m. over in St. Jude's Park, you might have noticed some nice little new benches. That is compliments of Mark Twain Regional Council of Governments, DNR, and DTMC. We'll do a little press conference type of thing to donate them, designate them, whatever. But that is April the 11th at 3 o'clock. We would love anybody and everybody to come. Then on May the 25th, we have DTMC's May Market Street event. And we are requesting the street closures that we have on this list. One extra street that I've never asked for before is Locust on the west side of the Christian Church for a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Never asked for that one before, so that's a new one. The rest of them, I've already worked things out with MA Bank, they're good. We're gonna route traffic through our parking lots, the real estate's parking lot to get to their drive-through all day. They're okay with that. I understand that Carrie Lee tells me all of my electric places are in place for the event.
Fort Charles is just one block, isn't it?
So we learned this last year, we cannot block intersections.
Okay.
So it will just be the body of the block, not the intersections.
Gotcha.
On
Okay.
each and every one of these street closure requests.
Okay.
So Winter, Divine, from Main Divine, First from Main just to the western entry to the city parking lot back there. Catherine from Main Divine, Vine Street from Catherine to Court, basically around St. Jude's Park for our car show. Court Street from Main Divine, and then Locust from Court to Charles. We are getting our event insurance in place for usage of St. Jude's Park. We don't think we're gonna use any part of North Park for the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Personally, I know zilch about it, but we might use the basketball court. If we do, we'll see if we have some way to add on to our event insurance for that, if it's needed. I mean, people from the public using it, so I don't know. We'll request our barricades, we'll get with Kevin O'Brien to get those. We'll do the normal, every other block, basically blocking off parking, so that it's safer for the public. And we just want Kevin to order some trash liners for our little DTMC trash cans. That is gonna cost you probably $15, $20. I think he already has them. So I am requesting the street closures as above, and the right for Carrie Lee to turn on the electricity for us on the 25th for the May market.
Yeah, it's a good event.
It's a fun event.
So I'll make a motion for Ms. Kendrick's request for the May 25th DTMC May Market event be fulfilled.
Second.
So a motion and a second to have the May 25th DTMC May Market Street event, have those items on the list here fulfilled. All those in favor?
Thank you very much. Now let's talk about the ordinance for Whole Rosary. I believe it's been posted plenty long. It is the abandonment of a T-shaped alley that goes underneath the old Whole Rosary Gym, back to the parking lot of Pace, and over to the building of Pace to the east.
Is it T-shaped?
It is T-shaped.
Does it actually does it go under the gym or between the gym and Love's house?
Under the gym,
Nice.
on the west side. This should have been done in 1959. It didn't get done, so you guys get to clean it up. We've done all the paperwork. The city attorney has seen this. He's been involved. The diocesan chancellor attorney has been involved. It's been surveyed. Everything's written up, and the ordinance has been posted for a long time now.
Can this be passed if the mayor's not here? Because it requires her signature.
We take the mayor pro tem at this point, because this is third try.
I don't mind signing, I just,
I got a buyer that's getting a little pissed.
well, I want it to be legal.
Me too. Me too.
You can sign as mayor pro tem.
Yeah, you really?
Yes.
You're the acting mayor, in the mayor's absence, you have full power of authority of the mayor. You may sign the document, it will be legal.
Yay. Yay.
Good motion.
Is there two, I mean,
There is, I don't know if John Russell, did we include this top one?
Well, there's two property owners, you guys, so,
what is a little other little problem?
so hang on a
It
second.
can,
Let me show you the difference. This one is what's underneath Whole Rosary on a Whole Rosary's ground. This one is behind Bernadette Mudd's house, and if you're gonna clean it up, you clean it all the way up.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what this is doing, is cleaning all abandoned alleys in that area, making them go away forever.
so,
In one ordinance.
no, it's two.
I don't know how they did that.
It's in
That's
two.
not it's above my pay grade.
I got two here, and we probably need, what, 2 readings for each one? So I make a motion for an ordinance authorizing the execution of a real estate contract by and between the city of Monroe City, Missouri and Equity Trust Company, custodian, FBO, Thomas Mayer, IRA, and the execution of a quit claim deed to the city property to Equity Trust Company, custodian, FBO, Thomas Mayer IRA purchaser under said real estate contract.
Hold it.
I think you,
That's why I was asking, I thought.
May I please see that?
Yeah, I think so, Russell.
We got that one, and then an ordinance which vacates a portion of certain platted alleys in Block 4, Pearsall subdivision of the Bush Stockyard land.
so you're wrong.
This has nothing to do with what I'm here for.
I didn't think so.
I attached the wrong one.
Is this yours?
Downstairs, but the other one is.
That's yours, it
The
did.
pictures are right.
Okay, well, on the one more than that.
So, what you had posted on the window, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Because it goes back to Holy Rosary Church, excuse me, actually the Diocese of Jefferson City, and back to Bernadette, not that.
What's in there?
I wish I didn't see
Exhibits
that.
A,
What's this about?
C,
Oh, I'll tell you after this.
B, and D. That's what you just saw.
I think she wants to get it off the door. Yeah, get it off the door, because that one was right.
I know what one.
Thank you for assisting.
No wonder they didn't wanna do it back then.
Going back to Holy Rosary. Well, he called me when I was in Virginia, and we talked about it, and I asked him, because he said that the alleyway went east and west, and I said, well, and that's what I asked him, because I remember his plane up there, and I said, you probably don't say that, I said, because you're supposed. And then when he thought about it, it's right.
To the church. So the 59.
It should have abandoned the alley back to the property. They didn't do it. So, you know, because I should be doing like that.
So what do you gotta do?
Once it's recorded, then they can make sure the title properly and then the church. This one is
She
from
said we
March
had to
of
do 3
23.
readings.
Huh?
She said, Jennifer said we had to do 3 readings on it.
That one's from March of 23.
No, some are 3, some are 2.
You should make copies of them.
Yeah.
So 3 readings and you can do them all tonight.
Mhm.
Yeah, come in.
And require glasses and.
No,
No, it's quit. I quit my rights to the property. I know. It's already been quit.
Well, I realized after you were starting to come up, I cut you off.
I was just, it's like, you know, I have to turn around and face Chrissy Goodwin if I didn't get this done. She's scared. She scares me.
Oh, damn.
She says, are you getting that done then? I said, "But that wasn't, I was going to your college."
What's she gonna do it?
Huh?
What's she gonna do it?
No, this.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
She's in charge of that committee.
oh,
I'm just the vote.
I thought you meant for the alley abandonment,
Oh, no.
which you said they were getting
No.
irritated on that too,
No,
right? They were getting irritated on the alley
the
abandonment,
buyer is.
yeah.
I said, cause I first heard about it, I'm not the one I was going to.
I just passed it by him yesterday.
so they gonna do it.
This is built business, is my understanding. Bring a business
Good.
that employs people, is my understanding.
I like it's across the street from my house, make too much noise.
It will not make noise. No more than starting your car.
What's it gonna be, pillow factory?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Have a pillow factory.
Sleep tight, Monroe City branch.
Yeah, no sleep tight. Yeah.
Oh, I think it'd be good to have something over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
anything that has jobs.
What are they putting in there?
Can't say.
not at Liberty.
Some job creation now?
Yeah, that's what
We
she
hope
said.
so.
Yeah.
That's
We
good,
hope so.
that's good.
Do something else, go over it.
I guess we can do something else.
So we move forward and come back to it?
Yeah. Shannon Howe with E EDA. EDA. Shannon Howe.
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
I'm actually with Howe Company, I'm the owner
Okay.
of the engineering firm, Howe Company, that is your engineer for the County Line Road project.
Okay.
And so I'm just here tonight to kind of give you an update.
Okay.
We've been working hard on wrapping up those plans to meet the EDA schedule. We've made some submittals in January, some in February, and then we wrapped up everything through to the design. We wrapped it up here about mid-March. And EDA has reviewed that and given their blessing on the work that's been done. So we've submitted invoices to kind of catch up on some billing. I knew you were having some trouble, didn't necessarily see the need to reach over the head with it, but it was time to kind of get that over here so we could start chewing on that part. And I've got hard copies that I'm gonna leave with you tonight. The last thing that EDA wanted us to do, we worked on the street design, we felt like we could get by without relocating part of the water main. They took issue with that, and rather than argue with the people that are giving you $1 million, we just engineered a little bit of water line relocation to keep them happy, and turned that in with the March submittal. So they were able to check off all their boxes. And there's just a little bit of environmental review that's got to be done. I think it's a pretty small amount. And I think once that's done, we'll be able to take that out for bids upon EDA's blessing. So, for those of you that may not be familiar with that, that's widening County Line Road from 2nd Street down to East Cleveland, except for the areas at the railroad tracks. And with the addition of some water line relocation, there is a DNR permit application that needs to be signed, and if you're comfortable doing that tonight, you can. If you'd rather I leave it here for you to look at, I can do that as well. But that would get you in a position to put that one out for bids as soon as EDA says you can.
Can you give us an estimate when the project is on?
Our towards the back of that kind of shows your grant amount. I think the construction, can I borrow one of those? I didn't bring one for me to look at. I promised to hand out. That one is, we were within a few $100s of what the original project estimate was. So,
$328,587.
for construction, about 1.3 million. That's, if you look at this page right here, it's got the, yep, there you go. Yeah, it came in amazingly, thank you, sir. Came in amazingly close with that number, so. And really, I don't wanna vary from that too much, because EDA may feel the need to pull their funds back a little bit, we can't go too low. So I'll leave the application here with you, sir. So your packet's got, just kind of a letter explaining where we're at with things, copies of the invoices that have been, the invoice that have been paid, the ones that haven't, the latest ones, copy of our contract. I think there's some funding summaries in the back as well to kind of show you, bring you up to speed on that if you're not familiar with it. So that's kind of where we're at.
You need these signed tonight?
No, they don't have to be tonight.
Okay.
If we had them, we could send that in and get that part ready to go. It's pretty standard.
I would feel more comfortable waiting.
That's fine, no problem.
Will there be a check that needs to go along with that also?
Not for the water permit, no. Be glad to answer any questions. I can leave some business cards if you like, or contact information's on that front
Okay.
page there with our letterhead.
Does anybody have any comments or questions at this time? Okay, we'll look it over and
Okay. And I've sent that by email to the city clerk.
Okay.
Back around.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Heath Hall here with the Clarence County Water Commission? What about Aaron McVigar with McClure Engineering?
He won't be here at the very end. There's a summary of what he had.
Aaron? Okay. Anything, public comment? Let's see, Mr.
Can I have one more?
Sure.
Please?
Sure.
I didn't want you all to go any further without, some updates. That 45,000, was wrong. I went back through my emails, the correct price was $46,920.
For that transformer,
Yes.
so we said up to 45,000.
For 45,000. Just
Well, how much you paying now?
46,920.
Amend my motion to say, $46,920.
I also,
That fair enough?
yes, that's fine. Thank you
Well,
very much.
So we have a motion and a second to amend the original, motion for the transformer to $46,920. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
I have one more thing to ask.
Okay.
The batteries that are in the east substation, they were old, they do need replaced. And, I have also, for the replacement of those batteries is $24,492. I know we're just bleeding money, but it's, without that,
You gotta have it, don't you?
without that, because most of it runs off of DC 120 voltage anyway,
How much did you say?
$24,492.
Is this been researched and that's your lowest bid or what?
That is what I have done, yes.
Well, gotta have a motion to allow Gary to purchase the batteries at the price stated.
How long does it take for those to come in, Gary Lee?
I'm sorry, I forgot what it is. I don't have that right off my mind. I'm sorry. That is. And that price expired on 3/31/2024.
So you're gonna have to
So I
borrow
guess
funds.
I'm gonna have to redo that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No,
It's
that's
okay.
okay.
Withdrawing.
So it died for lack of a second. Okay, is that all, Carrie?
Yeah, it's up to my report.
Okay, okay, Debbie, you ought to come back up for your part.
Debbie?
She's
Oh,
coming. Okay. So we have the correct ordinance now, so we need 3 readings, right?
Two readings, I corrected myself, sorry.
Okay, so it used to be 3, okay, and then 2, so 2 readings of this. So I'll make a motion for the first reading in ordinance which vacates a portion of certain platted alleys in Block 4, Pearsall subdivision of the Bush Stockyard land.
An ordinance which vacates the portion
No.
of.
I made a motion, somebody's got a second.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second for an ordinance which vacates a portion of certain platted alleys in Block 4, Pearsall subdivision of the Bush Stockyard land. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Need a motion for second reading.
Motion for second reading. An ordinance which vacates a portion of certain platted alleys in block of Pearsall subdivision of the Bush Stockyard land.
Okay, so we have motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second for the second reading, ordinance which vacates a portion of certain platted alleys in Block 4 of Pearsall subdivision of the Bush Stockyard land. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Have to
passed.
do a roll call?
Roll call, okay. Alderman Shoemaker.
Aye.
Alderwoman Saunders.
Aye.
Alderman Osborne, aye. Alderman Greenie.
Aye.
Alderman Moss.
Aye.
Okay,
And yourself,
I already said.
oh, sorry.
You have an ordinance number and a bill number.
Doesn't have one on here.
Okay, thank you all. And diocese section.
Thank you.
Do I have to sign that?
Who signed the bills and ordinances?
When I will sign it, but you should probably
get the bill number and ordinance number? Okay. Let's see, we are back to public comment. Mr. and Mrs. Dexter, would you like to discuss what you have going on?
So at the convert trailer park, where our residents live, we have a broken sewer pipe, and we've been dealing with our landlord over this for over a year. We get nowhere, pretty much with that, and I was just wondering, a nuisance, if this is more of a nuisance, or if there's something like an ordinance that we can either find them on, because they will not wanna take care of the sewer. There's actually sewer in our yard, and we're not the only ones in this trailer park that's dealing with this issue.
So do they need to come, do we need to have a nuisance meeting? Do they need to come, who's,
Actually, we don't have to have a nuisance meeting on it. We can review the location, and if it plain and clearly matches a nuisance violation, then we can issue a letter, sign date, put the city seal on it, and give them 10 days to correct it, and have the police department take it to the actual owner. We would probably wanna reach out, first and give them a chance to rectify and let them know we're going to be issuing a nuisance violation.
so they probably need to get with the police department, is that correct? So they can go and look at the location and all that? Okay.
Haven't we had trouble getting a hold of the landlords, the owners?
Where's the landlord at, you know?
Chicago.
One's in Chicago, one's in
Florida,
Florida,
one's in Florida.
and one's in California.
And, I mean, another thing is, the sewer is not even going down the pipe, it's just going down into the ground, and it's washing out the ground underneath the trailer, and the blocks are sinking and leaning. And there's a hole there now, and I know it's broken because I went on Amazon and bought a endoscope and went down it, and it's kinda collapsed. Maybe put toilet paper down it, it'll hang up right where it breaks, and it'll clog up, and then you have to clean it out. This has been going on for a long time.
This is on your, underneath your trailer?
It's underneath my trailer, I own the trailer, but the land is owned by them.
They've raised a lot rent about.
And they just raised the lot rent up another $50. So it's gonna be $325 for a just lot rent out there. And
Are you
you
still
would
on
think,
Sunset?
yes, I mean, you'd think, pay that much money, you'd have good sewer and water line, and plus I'm paying for new sewer plant, and it's just going in the ground. It's not rolling down that pipe.
Okay.
Do you guys wanna stop by City Hall tomorrow so I can collect some information?
And I've got pictures of the sewer, well, I haven't looked at it. Let's go.
Yeah, you can bring all that up to City Hall tomorrow, I'll sit down with you, we'll go through the nuisance, ordinances, and so far I've been pretty effective on being able to get a response from a landlord. So we'll try that, and then, if that doesn't work, we can come back and have a rediscussion on what to do next.
But you've been doing this for a year?
Yeah, it's been going on for a year, and I've been fighting this,
Why ain't this been called like a year ago?
Well, I've been emailing, and they just
There are some more hoops.
throwing us through more hoops.
The landlord has
Yeah.
They've been dodging.
I'm gonna have to jack the trailer up and re-level it, cause it's done sink. About, the big old cement block, it's about halfway now. It's wet underneath the trailer.
Isn't that a health issue? Absolutely, it's a health issue.
Yeah, so the landlord is a health issue.
That was the route they took when they came on the news last year, there were several of them.
And
And we haven't
They
filed
tell-
anything nuisance wise since all that stuff?
Yes, there has been, we actually followed up with them, they had a contractor come in, he scoped out the vast majority of the sewer lines, and then the official reports we got back from them were stating that the lines that were blocked were on the owners. And then we have the owners saying that, this comes back to the landowners. It was a different scenario for each lot. There was a majority of them that was on the owner of that would have fell onto the tenant. Or sorry, the person who owned the trailer. So that was kind of where we had to leave it, is he had construction crew come in to look at them, to do the repairs as it's all fit, and then for the tenants that had to get the, owner of the occupancy to come in and get those fixed, that was left to them on that part. And then they did have to come in with, special treatment to, put down on all the properties where there was sewage, that way it rendered that safe.
Well, I guess we'll have to deal with it from there then.
So, okay,
If it's coming back up again, and this is now another issue, I mean, this is something that we most likely have to restart and go back through the same thing again, but that is something that we can do.
Now, there's another thing where they said, well, we can't find nobody to fix this problem. Well, last Saturday, I called Hannibal Sewer Experts, and I called them at 8 o'clock, they were out there, we were gonna do an estimate at 11 o'clock, but they couldn't do nothing because it wasn't my property. But I called the owner, and, he's just like, he don't have the authority to okay it. And then they just left, the sewer people just left.
Yeah, if we can get a list of all the properties that are involved, we can start working on this again. That was the same thing they tried to say last time, is they couldn't find anybody to repair it, but they had somebody there within 2 hours last time, whenever they found out they were gonna be getting close to 60 citations, so.
Is this the same time of year this happened last year?
No, I believe we were closer to fall, I believe.
Yeah,
Well, this would have been around the same time, I guess this would have been around the same time as reported at the start, would have been around this time.
So anything, it's on the property owner if it's obviously not connected to the home.
So anything that is coming from the home, going to the main, is gonna be on the owner of residences. And
The
then
main right
anything on
underneath
the
their
main-
homes?
and then anything on the main to the supply, that is gonna be on the owner of the left.
That's not right.
That's not right.
Anything below ground is on the property owner, anything above ground is on the trailer.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, the main and the supply is coming off of them.
The laterals.
Yeah, the laterals,
Yeah, the
coming off
laterals.
of each one, that is all on the property owner. And then anything that's coming out of the residence itself to the supply line, that is where it transitions over.
Sounds like his pipe broke below ground, so that would be the landowner.
Yes, that would be the landowner.
Probably.
Mr. Miller? Mr. Miller?
Trying to understand that if you go through the nuisance process procedure, which Zach's going to do, or Chief's gonna do, and the landowner fails to respond in some time frame, I'm sure established by ordinance somewhere, then, what would happen is, the city would go ahead and take action and then
It would get turned over
charge,
to John Russell.
and charge the landowner by some mechanism, I suppose?
Yeah. Zach?
So there is a, there's
What would
particular.
happen there, what would happen there due to it being DNR, so we would contact DNR, they would get, inspections and everything set up to get everything back to code. And then he would be responsible for paying back to DNR whatever is owed on that.
Okay, so there's hope.
Yeah.
All right, I was just curious what the process was.
Okay, so if you all wanna come up to City Hall, you with Jennifer and Zach. Okay, we'll move on. The mayor isn't here, so city clerk's report.
So, if you turn your finders to the FIS page. This, Chief Phoenix, submitted this, to our city administrator, I guess, back in, I think December is what he told me. And he was told that, you know, it had made it to a council meeting and was approved, and then a notice came to Chief that it hadn't been paid, so he came in and inquired about it. I did some research, it never came before the board. And it was actually on the, you know, the last two meetings for approval, but they had to be stepped back. So they are, currently holding this policy open as a policy. And it's the fire, is Chief Phoenix back there?
Yes.
And he can in detail explain more than I can. I know we have MRNA coverage, there's a small amount of overlap, and I think when MRMA was brought in, to cover some of the fire department stuff, we probably should have opted out for that, because Chief said that they've always had this policy. It protects the fire department a lot better, the coverage is twice what the MRMA is. And here are the actual invoices. One is 18,218, and the other one is 4,353. I can pass these around so everybody can review them. But one of them is the accident sickness firefighters renew policy, and the other one is the business auto renew policy, general liability renew policy, excess liability, management liability, inland marine equipment. And it also allows for, if there was anything to do with like a water rescue, that they can literally commandeer a boat that they find at the dock, and that boat will be covered by this policy. It doesn't have to be specifically listed in the policy, but this is what they have had for, Chief, how many years have you had this policy?
Oh, we had this prior to me becoming chief. Gary McElroy had the same policy.
And
It more covers firefighters than it does anybody else.
And I did do a comparative on the coverage. This coverage is significantly better. So I would like to attempt to maybe reduce on the MRMA side, and go with this instead. If MRMA will allow us to do that.
Do we need to check with them first?
Check with MRMA first.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, if, I will take a check to it's the trust GDC agency, tomorrow morning, the policy will lapse. And I'm not 100% certain that MRMA will reduce the coverage. I think, I don't know why it was added on the MRMA side. I didn't add it, it was, city administrator. I don't know if she intended to replace this without talking to Chief about it, or what the thought process was. But this is really the better policy that is 100% geared for firefighters, to where MRMA is great and it's good for like the law enforcement side of it, but not so much. Like there's no accident, sickness for the firefighters. I even think there's an accidental dismemberment.
Yeah, they don't cover anything on firefighters at all. BFIS takes care of us. They're more of a fire insurance than they are anything else. MRMA is more law enforcement, stuff like that. We can actually get training material off of BFIS to train the guys. And like she said, it also covers anything that, if we have something, let's say a big fire or whatever the situation is, and we need to use something that somebody has, it's gonna cover that. When we take access of it, it's going to cover what we're using. So.
Coverage begins at possession.
Yes.
Only they take possession and MRMA's not.
And I don't know how many times we've been on this lake because we have no boat and we've had to use other boats. You know, so we're actually getting covered that way.
And the boat you have.
Huh?
What happened to the boats?
Yeah, we don't wanna talk about that, do we?
We looking at what? We sold it,
Oh,
we sold
What's the cost?
it.
Yeah, we sold it, all right.
We sold it.
The, accident sickness policy is $4,353. Then now, the business liability, general liability, excess liability, management liability, inland marine equipment, commercial property is $18,218 even. And I went back and this is something that, the city has paid for 12 years at Tigard.
So was this in conjunction maybe with the MIRNA?
Was it what?
Was this in conjunction with the other policy maybe before?
Yes, for the previous, like 2 years, they had both. I think last year the MIRNA coverage was stepped up a little bit more than what it previously was. And I don't know if our city administrator intended to shift everything to MIRNA, even though they didn't offer.
That's what she tried to do.
Yeah, and the coverage isn't even close to what.
Without asking.
Without asking, I knew nothing about it, and all of a sudden I got Myrna knocking on the door saying, hey, we'd like to come in and see your stuff. What do you need to see our stuff for? We're VFIS. And there you go. So, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll give them my best effort to reduce the MIRNA policy to see if we can recoup some of that and put it, towards this policy, but.
if we okay this tonight, does he go retroactive back?
Yes.
or-
That has been okay for every year,
I know.
except now.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna go back and cover them.
There's gonna be absolutely zero lapse in policy. The policy actually was supposed to lapse almost a month ago. And I reached out to Carla and I was like, this is what's going on. I'm gonna go to the board. I'm gonna explain the situation. So she's holding it open with absolutely zero lapse in policy.
Yep.
Because we've been customers of them.
I remember when we switched over to this, way back when.
Yeah, see, we didn't even know that Myrna was even, this is a
Yeah, I know,
thing.
but I say I was on the board back when.
Yeah.
Because,
And we've had VFIS forever,
yeah,
a long time. And they've always taken good care of us.
I make a motion, we accept the VFIS firm's proposal to pay the initial premiums that it requests.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second for VFIS to pay their initial premiums that they request. Any further discussion on this situation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys.
We're still on the city clerk's report. It says sewer saver.
Yes. We're gonna start tracking the data on the sewer savers this year. There's also a hold on the parts. What is the delay time, George, on?
They can't get the water meters, so I can't bill any sewer savers until we can get water meters.
Okay.
How long will it be?
They have no idea.
Okay.
They're expecting them anytime, but they've been doing that for the last 2 months, so.
But it doesn't affect anybody that's already got a sewer section.
No, it doesn't.
We were just hoping you could take a more organized approach and kind of push the sewer savers this year and be able to track the data. And then, Danette is going to, come up with me and present, the, utility policy on the date, right?
Oh, we can discuss that, I guess, yeah.
Oh. Did they discuss it? Before we discussed it?
No.
Well, I think it's probably something, well, it was discussed during our public forums.
Yes.
There was some residents that, asked about moving our due date to the 20th of the month rather than the 15th, and then the penalty would be from the 20th to the 25th of the month. And Mayor Hayes is good for that, and
We also talked about waiving, penalties for the month of, April, just as a show of good faith, that, you know, we did jump back and forth on these due dates. We understand that, you know, it's an inconvenience, and just as a show of good faith, unless it's going into May and it still hasn't been paid, waiving just for 1 month,
and since we didn't have a quorum for the last meeting, we weren't able to make that decision for the April one.
So it was, the due date was the 25th, and we changed it to the 15th. John Russell made an ordinance. We had the 2 town hall meetings, and people were asking about, you know, meeting them halfway and doing it instead of the 15th, doing it on the 20th, in between the 15th and the 25th compromise. And so if we do vote to do that, because right now it's set at the 15th, John Russell will have to make an amendment to the ordinance.
right. And then we come back at the next meeting to be approved.
But if you
Which would
would
be,
consider waiving the April penalty until we get that new date in.
because by the time the next meeting and it's approved, it's gonna be past the 20th.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's everyone's thoughts on that? Because right now,
Move the day.
huh?
I don't wanna move the day.
You don't wanna move it to the 20th?
No.
Okay, you wanna leave it
It's
to
5
the 15th?
days. And on some of those months, it's gonna be through the weekend, it's not. No.
Okay.
We have had a few customers mention that it would be helpful if we could move to the 20th due to their social security or Medicare checks coming later. in
Isn't
the
that
month.
dependent on their birthdays?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe so.
So, depending, we can't adjust the date for everybody's birthday. My birthday's in September on the 15th, does that mean when I go on that, that's when I'm gonna get paid?
No, you're gonna be paid on the 3rd Wednesday of the month.
There's no winning
1
this.
through 10 gets paid on the 2nd.
I say leave it and just waive the,
11 through 20 gets paid on the 3rd. And 21 through the end of the month gets paid on the 4th. Wednesdays of the month. That's how it works.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, there's not a solution for everyone.
Yeah, there's not gonna be one thing that's gonna make everybody happy. It was just brought up at the town hall, so we had with enough, push behind it, you know, and
I've had inquiries about it as well in City Hall when they come in to take it. So we just wanted to.
Well,
and
what's-
since it was a halfway mark, we wanted to bring it to the board and you guys decide what the preference was.
Is it already on the utility bills, April the 15th?
Yes.
For April it is, yes.
There's 2 different due dates on there. Yeah,
Well,
there's the
there-
15th and the 25th, depending on what part
so
of the
because
bill.
it's past due
The
on the
delinquent.
25th.
No, the due date shows April 15th on one spot and April 25th on another spot.
I think if you wait until the 20th, you're gonna get the majority of people on social security paid by then. I know what you're saying, like, don't, you know, totally give in, but if you wait till the 20th, I work with a lot of social security people, you're going to get a lot of them paid by the 20th, or close to in that range where they can. Most of the people concerned, I think, are social security.
I'll make a motion to allow John Russell to make an amendment to the utility due date to allow him to change it from the 15th to the 20th and to waive all penalties for the month of April. That means that the next month they would be definitely due on May 20th, and if they are not paid by the 20th, then penalties will go into effect.
Absolutely.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to allow John Russell to make an alteration to amend the ordinance to change the due date from the 15th of the month to the 20th of the month, and to waive all penalties for the month of April when it comes to utility bills. So that means that in the month of May, that the bills will be due on May 20th and the 20th of the month from here on out. And starting May 20th, if bills aren't current, there will be a penalty assessed. Any further discussion about this? All those in favor? Let's do a roll call vote. Alderman Shoemaker? Alderman Saunders?
No.
Alderman Osborne? Yes. Alderman Greening? Alderman Moss? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. I just had a few quick updates. Front desk is online, for anyone to use, and it is a customer base.
Yes. Oh, to allow him to amend the ordinance. We have to do that twice.
Sure.
Because the ordinance is not passed to start with.
Well, we passed it for it to be the
Passed in
15th.
February.
We're amending it, allowing John Russell to amend it. I mean, we can go ahead and do it twice. It's
Let
not.
me say this, I can't find it in the ordinance for dealing with the amendment of an ordinance. So if I can't find something to do with the amendment, then I would have to at least under construct, handle it the same way I would do a new ordinance. If you read twice, there's no question.
We'll just do it twice. It's not gonna hurt anything.
I may be wrong, but I
So,
can't
no,
find
that's
it.
okay, because it's not gonna hurt anything. So I'm going to make a motion to allow John Russell to make an amendment to the ordinance for the utility collection date, changing it from the 15th of the month to the 20th of the month, and to waive penalties for the month of April. It will be due on the 20th of every month from here on out, and penalties will start taking place for all payments not made by May 20th.
Second.
So a motion and a second to allow John Russell to change the ordinance, amend the ordinance for the utility collection policy, changing it from the 15th to the 20th, waiving the penalties for the month of April, and all bills not current by May 20th will be assessed a penalty. Roll call vote, Alderman Shoemaker. Alderwoman Saunders. Alderman Osborne. Aye. Yes. Alderman Greening.
Yes.
Alderman Moss.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I don't know exactly when the city obtained their recycle grant, but it's my understanding it was obtained like about 6 years ago. And when that grant was obtained, we were able to get recycled trash bags for the residents.
Yeah.
We are out of those recycled trash bags. I called Shelter Workshop and they will only pick up clear trash bags. So, if you all want to give this some thought, we looked into where you could get clear trash bags and, Sam's, area distributors, places like that. And, just an idea, I didn't know, you know, if that was something we wanted to order a box and then.
I don't know
we
where
could-
we've gotten them in the past.
We could,
They were by grant, we didn't.
Oh, they
were all by
Like
grant,
mass.
yeah, we had pallets.
And
of
there's
them.
not a grant available, I guess, anymore?
I'm gonna look.
Oh, okay.
Look at Monroe Regional Council of Governments, because they have like all of those, whatever, environmental, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's where we got our first one.
Okay. Mark Twain Council of Governments.
I've already talked to them.
But she said she's already talked to them.
Huh?
She said she's already talked to them.
Okay.
And they don't.
We don't have any.
I guess they don't have any? Okay.
Not right now.
But you might have some other ideas. But if not, yeah, we'll have to.
If not, I didn't know if this was something the city would want to purchase and we could just pass the cost right on to the customers. You know, it's not a money-making deal for the city, but we would still be able to get them for our customers that don't travel out of town and are unable to get them. Just something to think about.
Yeah.
Budget customer accounts were evaluated and a few of them needed adjustments and everyone was sent letters at the end of March, so those customers' bills will be adjusted 1st of May. One thing I just, wanna bring up, and, we had a very, very irate customer in City Hall 2 days ago. It was,
Business owner? Or
not a good situation, but.
was it a business?
No, it was an individual.
Okay.
Alex handled it very well. He de-escalated and he did very well. However, we tried to reach out to the police department, weren't able to reach anyone because the system was down. I don't know if there's an option.
We want a
for
panic button.
Panic buttons, something for us, because sometimes when we call, we had to call before too, and sometimes you can't really talk on the phone
Mhm.
because they're right there.
Right.
But it wasn't a very good feeling when this customer was in the office.
I actually thought we had a panic button.
Well, if we don't, we need one just like a bank.
Yeah.
The, police department, one of them has volunteered to install it, so that won't be an issue if we can just get the system.
Get it? Okay. Zach?
So the panic button that they currently have, the way it runs is it runs through the non-emergency line into our dispatch center, which is completely separate to 911 emergency lines. They were actually having issues with their phones that day, that phone system, so that's why when they activated that, they weren't able to get a hold of anybody. So if we get that patched through to the 911 line with the new system, if Monroe County's isn't working, then it bounces to the next open 911 line, so it'll go to the next county. So they will always be able to get through and be able to get to us. So I think that would definitely be the best setup, is to look into how we can get connected into the 911 line to set non-emergency side.
Okay, yeah,
All right, thank you. And that was all I had.
okay. Thank you. Anything else, Jennifer?
That is all I have.
Okay, we'll move on to council committee reports, planning and zoning. They-
City attorney's report.
Well, he's not here.
I know he's not here, but you have two invoices.
Well, that would be on accounts payable.
Yeah, he sent those late, they go with the accounts payable.
Let's see.
April and, or for February.
Planning and zoning, they were set to meet tonight and did not have everybody they needed. Parks and recreation, I haven't been told of anything, have you?
No,
Anything new?
that came in. Didn't one of them come in last week, and then only 2 people showed up, so they didn't establish a quorum.
Okay, administrative, I had reached out to a lady on March 22nd, and the administration committee agreed to offer her the position of administrative assistant that was vacated by Phoebe. She accepted, and we set her start date at April 15th. She emailed late, she emailed yesterday, I saw it late last night, and she contacted City Hall today to let us know that she is now declining the job offer due to personal reasons. And so I reached out today to our second choice, and she accepted, and her start date will be Monday, April 22nd, as long as everything goes through background checks, bonding ability, reference checks, all that. I made that quite clear, and she will be assisting where Phoebe did with the utility sector and helping Danette. And then the goal is for everybody eventually downstairs to be cross-trained and be able to fill in wherever needed in any part of the office. So that's all I have for updates on administrative. Nuisance Review Board, Public Safety, anything?
Well, the last meeting we had, wasn't enough people here.
No quorum. Okay.
That's a problem.
And
We need to, this is my last night here.
You won't be here next week, or in 2 weeks?
No.
okay.
But we had the trailer park, that was, we had discussions on that. And we thought it was taken care of, but evidently it wasn't.
Yeah, and they're gonna meet tomorrow with Jennifer and talk with Zach to get that hopefully on the track of being straightened out.
And other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay. Next up, we have the police department.
Okay, the only thing I really have tonight is getting safety window tinting for the, lobby area at the PD. There were a couple of quotes in there. The lowest was through MGT Films for $2,567. The other one was substantially higher by about $4,000. Reason I'm requesting this is all the windows we have up there, none of them are safety rated. So in the event we have, I don't know, a fight in the lobby, they break into great big sections that can harm people. So just to get us back into a little bit safer area, these tent films, they will be, basically classified as riot resistant. So somebody can have a baseball bat, chair, something like that, will hold all those shards together. That way it acts more like a safety glass rather than just a normal plate glass window. The other option we had was looking at replacing those windows up front that are accessible, and we'd be looking at about $900 to $1,000 per penny, and that would put us right around the 4,000 mark. So it seemed like this was going to be more feasible for us to do, and still get us into relatively safe conditions. So
How much is the window tinting again?
it was $2,567. Yep, $2,567.
Is this something you're wanting to get done pretty quick? I mean,
It would be
the sooner
nice
the
to-
better.
It would be nice to, I can understand if we have to put it off for a few months, but like I said, it's definitely.
Well, I was just
something
thinking
like
on the audit, you know, if we could get that squared away. I mean, I know it's a safety issue, but
Yeah, and I can understand that. Like I said, if we have to push it off a little bit, that is understandable. But the sooner we get into, the less liability we'll have in the long run.
yeah. What's everyone else's opinion on that? You wanna approve it now, or do you wanna hold off until we have the budget?
You better prove it, till you got the book.
Huh?
And you need to wait till you got the book.
Okay.
That'd be fine. Other than that, that's all I had, unless anybody has any questions for me.
No.
Evidence stuff, you get all that ordered?
Yeah, you got two things, that Kevin brought me, for some evidence bags.
Oh, okay, yes, evidence bags and boxes, that's stuff that we have to be able to maintain evidence room the way the state requires it.
I don't think you need that unless it's under a certain amount, so I don't think you have a problem with the order.
Yeah, we just wanna make sure we're good and clear there, and then we had the evidence bags, we're currently running on, the last handful of them, so we should be good until they come in a couple days, so. Other than that, is that all we have?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, Enix. You have nothing, okay. Water Department.
All right, in your package, you should have an estimate or a quote from Illinois Electric. This is to repair or replace one of the pumps at the water treatment plant. It's on the wastewater side. These actually pump, it's not actual wastewater, it's the decant, or the sludge off of our clarifiers goes out to some lagoons out back, and then it's actually pumped down the South Lake. We cannot put it into the creek right there, which would be super convenient without spending a whole lot of money. But during the summer, both of these pumps run almost nonstop just because of our, how much we run the plant at that point, and it's getting close. So the quote for repair was $3,848.20, and cost of the new was $13,621. It's gonna be in operation for a couple more years until the plant is decommissioned.
What is the delay time for repairs?
It says right here, 2 to 3 weeks.
You used the company before?
Illinois Electric, yes. Yeah, it would be, and they actually have our pump, so they came, picked it up, they tore it apart, figured out what's wrong with it, so if we decide to put it out for bid or go somewhere else, they're gonna charge us $1,000 to put it back together, give it to us, take it to somebody else so they can then tear it down, same thing.
Motion to accept the bid to fix the pump.
For the $3,848.28.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. So we have a motion and a second to repair the pump through Illinois Electric Works for $3,848.20. Any further discussion on the situation? All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes.
All right, I have one more issue. It's, there's a sewer line that runs in between East Dover and East Cleveland in the 800 block. We got called out, in fact, it's behind the houses. We got called out, to go take a look at it, and, it was overflowing. So we took care of that, spread the line, we did everything we're supposed to do, backed it out, but I could not get all the way through the line. About 13 foot from the manhole, we were just stuck, couldn't figure out anyway, we videoed it, and there is a tap from 809 East Dover that is actually completely through the main. So the main's like this, and their 4-inch line comes all the way through. It's my understanding that at one point they had a sewer, they couldn't make their sewer run, so they did a second tap right into a manhole, and they've just given up on this other, so it's no longer in operation, but it has to be removed. So.
Did the homeowner do it?
The homeowner had somebody come in and do, and so they just disconnected it and then ran into, ran in there. So this area is about 13 foot deep. So in order for us to excavate it, it's gonna be a very, very, very large hole. If you even want me to mess with it, or if we need to get the city attorney involved and have him send 809 East Dover a letter and tell them that it has to be repaired. But from what my camera was showing, they actually damaged the main when the whole, it's PVC, but it's a big hole. The main's gonna have to be repaired at the time.
Yeah, I would
I
talk
say, yeah, they caused the problem, they ought to be the one to fix it.
John Russell about that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't touch it, cause I know it should be on the property owner that had it, and they'll need to go back on.
The people that they
Is it
hired.
the same property owner that's there now?
I cannot answer that. Actually, I got that information from Damon Booch, who owns owns all the other property around there essentially, and, cause I thought it was his originally, and he was back there and looked at it, he says, no, that's this one here, and then he explained to me that there was an issue with that, and it was redone.
Okay,
So, other than that, I don't have anything else to report.
thank you. Carrie, do you have anything else for the electric department? Okay, gas department, I don't believe Terry's here, but his report, I believe, is in that binder, and same for the street department. And then airport, yep.
The Department of Agriculture came out a few days ago and tested our fuel samples, and they're sending them off to test them to make sure that the fuel is good, and I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it is. The screen on the card reader at the pump has gone out. You can't, when a customer comes up to use the pump, there's nothing in the screen. I've written out the directions on how to use the pump, but every time somebody comes, they call me and I've gotta go help them do it. I put a call into Hayner, maybe I overstepped my bounds there for them to get us a new screen. So they are, I have no idea what it will cost, but they are in the process of ordering a new screen. The water heater is still bad. It went out in November, and we talked about it several times, but we never did really settle on how, I think they originally finally settled on we were gonna get it with Lowe's.
Yeah,
But-
we talked about
But
that.
that didn't happen. I prefer that we just get it through Roby's, and even if it's a few dollars higher, Roby's does business here in town, pays taxes in town. At least let me price it through Roby's.
I thought we already approved it and everything.
We approved it to get it out at Lowe's.
Uh-huh.
We didn't, they turned down getting it at Roby's.
Okay.
And somebody's gonna have to drive to Lowe's to get it,
Uh-huh.
probably me with my truck and my gas, and
I thought that was just already done and in place and running and
Yeah.
it's
thought
never
it was
been,
good.
it's never been fixed. Maybe I'll put it this way, can I get a bid from Roby's to see what it would cost to do that?
You can get a bid, you still got the Lowe's bid?
We didn't get it, they didn't have a bid. Well, maybe they did have a, I don't know if they had a bid.
I think we had a bid from both of them, we chose Lowe's because they were the cheapest.
For the water heater?
Yeah.
The bid for Lowe's was approved, I have the minutes where it was approved.
I bet he would
They'll
have.
pick it up and.
She was gonna order
Who was?
it.
Tamitha?
Tamitha was gonna call Lowe's, order it, put it on a city credit card, and have it delivered, and that never happened.
I can go pay for it, and then they can go pick it up, if that works for city council, it's already been approved. You shouldn't have to go back.
You still wanna get Roby's before we do all this other?
Excuse me?
You still wanna get a price from Roby's before we do all this other?
I mean, I think we ought to do business in town, but that's up to you guys. If you wanna save $100 by going to Lowe's,
You'll charge $50 to deliver.
Lowe's will,
Lowe's will.
it'll be free delivery since it's over $299, or $199, what is the cutoff for free delivery? Regardless, usually for businesses, they do free delivery.
A business in town would appreciate the city agrees to be doing business with them, I would think.
I'd say just get it from Roby's then. Lowe's will charge it, I mean, you know, if it's a business or not.
Is that a
I
motion?
think when you're trying to get,
It'll be set.
it's just a 10-gallon hot water heater.
it's a 10-gallon,
It's just a small hot water heater. It's for the shower in the back for anybody that's stuck there and has to stay overnight, and it takes care of
I'll water it.
the sinks.
Is that a motion, Gina?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to buy the water heater from Roby's.
And I'll second that. So we have a motion and a second to buy the water heater for the airport at Roby's. All those in favor? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you on that, and the beacon light bulbs and the windsock, the beacon bulbs are out, and the big windsock is gone bad in that last 50-mile-an-hour windstorm, and Kerry has them, he's got them ordered, I believe, is that right? If he hasn't, he's gonna order the new light bulb for the beacon. We've been selling more gas since springtime's coming, and that's a good thing. We get a lot of good compliments on the airport. It really looks good. The grounds look really nice.
Good.
does he have to order the windsock, or is that something,
I think Kerry was gonna order
he's
it.
gonna order it too?
Is that right, Kerry?
No, Terry brought it to me, I'll be the one ordering if it's approved tonight.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve you ordering a new windsock for the airport.
Third.
Motion and second to approve the purchase of a new windsock for the airport. All those in favor? Motion passes.
I built that awning over that card reader that I talked about the last time. I used most of my material, that's some scrap stuff I had at home. I think I got a couple of 2x4s that Roby's in charge of to the city on the airport. Street department is gonna take care of painting it for me. The Holy Rosary has contacted me again about bringing kindergarten kids out for the field trip May the 12th. And I told them yes, so.
Yeah, cause we always do that, don't we?
We've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, the sump pump inside of the moat around the fuel tank has gone bad a couple of times, and a couple of us have taken it apart and rebuilt it. It's still working, but it's probably gonna go bad, and if it goes bad, I guess I need permission to get another one. I don't know what if, it's just a sump pump like what's in your basement.
You know, say you probably just get it at Roby's and charge
It's
it.
probably something like, it'd be under, I'm sure under $500, so you,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For some pump. You could just get it at Roby's and charge it to there, or charge it.
okay. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Thank you. Presentation of bills and approval of payments.
You should have your listing.
I didn't see on here Elite, they're the ones that mow the cemetery.
They are not on there because theirs came in right as we did the cutoff, the day that we did the cutoff, tariffs came in, and Elite did it. But since those were that was actually on one of my questions.
On that, it was
We approved-
contract.
Yeah, we
So-
approved those already, knowing what they were gonna cost. Do they need to come back every council meeting, or can those checks just be?
If we've already approved the contract for that price, it probably doesn't have to
They
be.
haven't seen the contract, that's one question that Lonnie Ogle keeps asking me, why hasn't he seen the contract is
The
signed?
contract is what they signed, the bid submission becomes the binding contract, because we laid out the expectation, everything that was gonna be required, and it would be issued at the end of the month, after they submitted an invoice, and they signed it. So I was just gonna sign it for city clerk, put our, seal on it, and give them a copy of it.
Okay.
Give me something, 'cause
Cause they might come in tomorrow for their payment, cause they said something to me about it, since we didn't have our last meeting, that they're needing their payment.
you wanna add them on here?
Well, no, because that we already approved the contract and what all the payments were gonna be. So we have accounts payable
And then the
for
two
March
invoices-
21st, April 4th, and then John Russell's 2 invoices.
Yes, so $4,000 added to the total for it, and to include those invoices from John Russell for the.
So we probably need to do them separate, each accounts payable and then his invoices.
You
Or
can,
do, or should we do all together, all accounts?
it can be done all together, as long as the dollar amount and whole matches.
Well, I'll make a motion to, well, I'll just do it for the, March 21st accounts payable in the amount of $277,349.39.
Move on.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to approve the March 21st accounts payable in the amount of $277,349.39. All those in favor? I'll make a motion to pay accounts payable for April 4th, 2024 in the amount of $81,856.87.
Second.
A motion is second to approve the accounts payable for April 4th in the amount of $81,856.87. All those in favor? Make a motion to approve,
February month.
both of these say April 1st.
That's what he
February and March.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got the date out there when he.
Okay, so we'll do his February invoice.
He's out.
No, there's
That's
two,
right,
no,
he's out.
it's got actual,
If you look at the bottom
his
of
flat
it,
fee.
Flat fee.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve John Russell's February 2024 invoice and his March 2024 invoice at a flat fee of $2,000 for each invoice.
Second.
Motion is second to approve John Russell's February and March invoices for a flat fee of $2,000 for each invoice. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Receipt of notices and communications.
That was, where Debbie said it was supposed to be on.
Oh, okay. Okay. Need a motion to go into closed session?
You wanna, kids that,
Huh? Oh, so,
not gonna be here.
oh, he's not gonna be here at Hastings meeting, okay. Well, so Alderman Shoemaker isn't gonna be at the next meeting, so this is his last meeting. So on behalf of the mayor and the city council, I would like to present this plaque to Kent Shoemaker in appreciation for your dedication of years of service to the city of Monroe City. Okay.
Very sweet. Have fun out south.
Do you have a speech or anything?
We're jealous.
Do you have a
We're
speech?
really jealous.
Anybody can come visit me.
Yeah, you might regret that.
We're always showing up.
Myrtle Beach, yeah, I keep that under my hat until you get out of town. Okay, I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant 610.021 legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys. Pursuant 610.021, hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting a particular employees by a public governmental body when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. Motion and a second to go into closed session. Roll call vote, Alderman Shoemaker.
Aye.
Alderwoman Saunders.
Aye.
Alderman Osborne, aye. Alderman Greening. Alderman Moss. We are now in closed session, and I guess, can we get in upstairs at the library since that door is locked? If somebody goes through the elevator, they can let us in. Okay. We probably need to have some discussion. And these are, we're gonna hang on to these for the expansion of Daniel and Danette Henderson have come to the end of their probationary period, and Alex Seibert will soon be coming to the end of his probationary period. So Mayor-elect Miller, I said that we will wait until you take office and make your committees official, and then we'll call an administrative committee meeting so we can do evaluations and give performance raises to those people. Is that okay? And then it'll be retroactive to when their probationary period ended, and his will be when he comes off from.
If it's a board decision, absolutely.
Okay, so, motion, that's it, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.